Alright, so it's finally time for us to finish off our Max Transcended showcases. Yesterday we tried out Yuha, recommend you guys check out that video. And a few days before, we tried out a Max Defense Aaroniero. These characters are easily some of the best characters in the game. And now we're here to showcase a character that a lot of people think is the best character in the game. That, of course, being the new coolest character in the game, true Shikai Ichigo. In this case, we are now on my account. Happy to have him Max Transcended. It took 2 move sources, but I don't mind doing it. I have been desperately wanting a cool true Shikai Ichigo, especially him doing the GETSUGA JUJISHO in the Soul Bomb. We finally got it, so I had to go ahead and use move sources. Had to. Iconic character, and this character, again, is easily one of my favorite characters in the game. Looks really cool, and we're here to demonstrate how powerful he is at Max Transcendent. Again, stats across the board are level 10 with 500 SP as the 6th slot. We are doing it in the correct order. When you get a Max Transcended character, you have to do it in this order. It just looks way better. And with that, we're going to be able to show how powerful he actually is with full stamina and also damage to lacerated enemies as bonus abilities. We're going to go ahead and change that. Since in other content, it's not ideal, but damage to lacerated enemies is definitely something you want to have on when you have Killer. That's a big thing about this character. Unfortunately, we can't really fully demonstrate it, but you can see he's based around inflicting stats elements. When he does, he gets 100% more damage, technically 150% more damage, and he has an increased chance to do so, but only against Quincy's and Soripas. So when this character has Killer, he's a completely different character. And when he has Killer, damage to lacerated enemies will be a lot better as a bonus ability. When he doesn't though, and he isn't inflicting stats elements as often as you'd want him to, SP is definitely going to be the play. For our build though, we are going to be using a Lieutenant's Badge, Artisanal T-Set, and also Fortification Pill. The links include Mayuri, recharge and full stamina, Ichigo, recharge and more strong attack damage at full stamina, and of course also our trustworthy Chad, recharge and also full stamina. With that said, let's jump into the content and see how he does perform. Alright then, so first I'm going to take it into the Cub Ultra Inheritance Trials where he's best demonstrated, right? Now unfortunately, right, you know, at least compared to UI, he's going to look a tad bit unimpressive. Given that with the fact that we don't have Killer, right? In Inheritance Trials, Killer is a big thing. You're doing 60% more damage, and that allows Yuha to be an amazing character in IT. But then again, Yuha does have the advantage, given the fact that he does have the extra Soul Bomb, right? I think that extra Soul Bomb is what makes Yuha a better character, but since he does have the Killer effect here, he's overall able to clear faster, even though he is Max Transcended. So we are going to have to like kind of brute force our way through this quest. We don't have an increased chance to fix star elements, nor do we have Pierce Iron Skin, but that's fine. Let's use our SA3 here and let out an absolute nuke. There you go. Definitely should position myself better when it comes to that later part of the map. But what you're going to notice with this character is that we're going to basically one-shot all the bosses, right? Because the bosses, lucky for us, we do have Killer again. So let's go here, use our SA3. He walks straight into it, and look at that. The bosses got absolutely annihilated. I didn't even see them spawning. That's how quick we killed them, right? Let's use our SA1 though, take down them enemies. Lucky for this room, it is quite linear, so our SA1 and also 3 will work wonders here. Kind of want to save my SA3 for the bosses. So let's go ahead, use our SA1. We got our SP boost, so now let's use our SA3. That's going to damage them, knock them down, and then SA3 basically takes out both bosses. SA2 did a good amount of damage there. And of course, at 5 out of 5, our summon is going to hit really hard since we do have bombardment. It's going to hit 8 times. Let's go ahead and use the Soul Bomb. Play it out. One of the best looking Soul Bombs in the entire game, in my opinion. Look at that go. Bosses, entire room, stood no chance. In that case, though, let's go ahead and look at the clear time. 1 minute and 50 seconds. Honestly, it's quite good. It feels not as good when compared to Yuha, but Yuha right now has just been so fortunate enough to have Killer because it makes a massive difference. It really does. But in Ichigo's case, more so than ever, he's a completely different character when he does have Killer. So whenever there are Soriba or Quincy enemies in Inheritance Trials, I'm definitely going to try and showcase the character again because I want to see that for myself. You know, how fast he's going to clear content, because at that point, then he has the increased chance to inflict stat elements. One thing I will commend the character though, that SA3, honestly, no problem with it actually, you know, using it in combat. A lot of people thought maybe it'll be a bit, you know, impractical, but no, it's actually been really solid. The initial hit that you can get, it knocks down the enemies, and that pretty much guarantees that you're able to get off the entire attack without taking any type of damage. He has poise, so like if he was to take damage, you could still let it off, but you honestly don't need to. Let's go here. Let's go ahead, use our SA3 like this, and this should basically take out the entire thing. Almost did. The range, not just big enough, even though it is above full screen. The enemies were actually far away. It's kind of hard to take down that entire wave with just one strong attack. Usually you end up missing like 1 or 2 enemies. Let's use our SA2. SA2 has great range to it. And again, we're going to set up our SA3 to try and take down the bosses. Let's go ahead and use that. That knocks them down. And then again, we nuke with the SA3. That feels so... It's fun. It's powerful and it feels fun. It's exactly what Aizen's SA3 should have been back in like 2018. Yeah, but you know, you can't really get much practical use out of a soul bomb that has like 20 plus seconds. Let's use our SA3 there. Used it a tad bit too early, or did we? Did we already go through the bosses? We did. I didn't even notice. Okay, we'll take it. That's how fast the SA3 kills the bosses. You don't even realize that the bosses have died or even spawned in. Let's just use our SA1 though, because these rolling enemies can get quite annoying if they get out of our distance. In fact, let's use our SA3. Did we use it correctly? Yes, again, there's one enemy left. That's fine though. Let's not even use strong attacks. You can see their bosses go down one strong attack. Let's just finish up with the soul bomb. I really want to see if I can nuke the entire room with one strong attack free. We'll try that once more. Very similar clay time, 1 minute and 56 seconds. When he has killer, that's definitely going to go down to around 130, maybe even less. But what I'm going to do is jump cut to the final room once more. Let's see if we can nuke the entire room with just one strong attack free. All right then, so here we are in the final room. I'm going to use my SA2 just to push them back a tad bit and then use our SA3. Hopefully I position myself correctly. Did we do it? Oh, see, the enemies are placed like too far apart. It's kind of annoying at this point, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it's possible for me to hit all of them at the same time because there's just one enemy far away. You can see without even like trying to inflict the status element. He already did get inflicted. That was a decent attempt though. I'm gonna try that once more. We're gonna try it once more. Tell me faster that time around though. Looks like it probably is better to actually soul bomb the room prior and just focus on your strong attacks in the main room, since you again, your SA3 is basically a soul bomb in and of itself, right? Tap it faster there, tap it more impressive. Let's try that just once more. Alright then, so we are once more back into the final room. So the area around us is a 1,200 by 1,200. So if I stand like right in the middle, again, there's one enemy now. It's not possible. Maybe I'm just standing wrong. We're either too far from the up one or the bottom one. Again, bosses go down in one strong attack. They are not an issue whatsoever. No Storyport or Quincy ever will be. But let's just finish up those enemies. Maybe it's a skill issue on my part, but enemies look to be too far away to at least get nuked with his strong attacks. But understand he could nuke the entire wave room if he could, if the enemies are close enough. That room was a lot better though, 1 minute and 41 seconds. Definitely feels a lot better to nuke the third room than the final room, since again, you can just nuke it with 1/3 strong attack. So with killer, we'd probably cut down like 30 seconds. Honestly, we really would. Either way, though, solid performance, especially when it comes to the SA3, which for the most part is going to be the highlight of the video. We're going to be always focusing on that SA3. Next up, though, we're taking Ichigo against the ultimate Grand Fisher Ultra Epic Raids. We are currently a bonus, so we are getting that 2x damage output. When it comes to our build, though, of course, we are using the Toshiro pet with 60% more Berserker, 60% more damage at full stamina, same exact accessories, and of course, the same exact links. Alright then, so let's see how this does go. Hopefully we can inflict this Starsman as soon as possible, because if we can, like that for example, we can do a pretty good amount of damage. Unfortunately, in that case, I did have a strong attack, but I wasn't quick enough to follow up, because the weakening unfortunately did wear off. Usually that means if you do inflict a Starsman and you're able to damage during the weakening, you're able to go through the face super quick. Let's just nuke our way with the SA3 though, and we're going to save our soul bomb for when he stops attacking. So we can inflict a Starsman, like now for example. Let the soul bomb off into the 2, and such an easy phase. We're going to stand here to be safe, then go forwards. Hopefully we can get a status proc. If we can, we're good. Unfortunately not. Alright, SA2, SA3. Look at that. Look at that. A 53-second clear time. Pretty good, right? But again, it can get faster and slower. I think this character, when it comes to solo epic raid runs, you're not really going to notice it when playing with 6 Ichigos. But since they can't always inflict Starsmans when the boss is attacking, you're either going to clear like super fast, a decent fast time, or again, kind of slow. In that case, that was a pretty good run for our very first run, 52 seconds. Let's try that again and see if we can get a tad bit faster. On to the next run then. We're going to use our SA2 right away. Instantly inflicted a Starsman. Unfortunately, wasn't able to do my SA3 fast enough. That's fine though, since we did get a status proc, we are able to still do a lot of damage here, even without the weakening. And you can see there, into the second phase within 15 seconds. Now at this point, all we have to do is wait for the boss to stop attacking. We then use our soul bomb into the SA2. Third phase already. Mazu uses a strong attack since the SP boost is active. Gonna stand here, this is the save spot, then we go forwards. SA2 again. Can we get an SP boost? That'd be nice. Unfortunately not. Could have potentially been a 40-second run there. Let's SA2 into the 1. SP boost. Look at that. Look at that. That felt better. We'll leave it there. We're going to leave it there. At least when it comes to the solo runs. You can definitely get faster, but you got to be lucky with the status procs during the downtime. When you have killer, it's going to be more likely to inflict Starsmans, right? You can probably get an easy, like, sub 30, 20 by himself. But that's realistically only when he has killer. But still, 45 seconds to do 50 million damage. Potentially even more. We might have done some overkill damage. Either way, though, that's Ichigo in epic raids. So next up, we're going to be taking Ichigo into Guild Quest. In this case, the very hard difficulty Guild Quest, which we briefly showcased a few days ago already on the channel at 1.5 and also 5.5. Now, the great thing about Ichigo in Guild Quest is, of course, that he does have the increased chance to inflict status ailments against all 5 bosses. So more likely than not, you are going to inflict a status ailment on any given boss, where in that case, you're doing 100% more damage, right? And another great thing about him, which I don't think I mentioned in that previous video, is that since you can inflict lacerate, and lacerate is the status ailment that will last longer since weakening is nerfed in guild quests, you can give your other characters 40% more damage to lacerated enemies. You know, normally it's 20% to any other status ailment, but lacerate and I believe even confusion gets 40%, and that allows you and your team to do more damage, especially when you know you're going to inflict the status ailment. In Ichigo's case, you can see here, we are breezing through the quest super fast, able to get a very fast clear time, and this was even my personal best, where we had almost 50 seconds left to spare. And the one you are seeing though is one where we had 48 seconds left to spare. And the great thing about Ichigo, which I did see within my guild too, you can use him as a main or a side character, because the main thing here is that he himself does do a lot of damage, but he also does, most importantly, basically guaranteed to inflict status ailments, which in of itself provides its own crowd control, but lets your entire team do more damage, which has been really good for trying to get really fast playtimes in guild quests. Having said that though, this is actually a really cool run. This is on the hard difficulty of guild quests, so it's not that impressive to a certain extent. I'd like to think it is though, but you can see here we go in, use 1 strong attack free, and we were able to clear all 5 waves with just 1 strong attack. This is why we had to get a new difficulty of guild quests. We were already in a nuking meta in the hard difficulty. Characters had to be, you know, duped out. You had to have 3 characters in your team to nuke through all 5 waves with just your soul bomb, where now Ichigo can do that with just 1 strong attack free. That felt really fun. Top 10 most satisfying things in Brave Souls. Being able to clear all 5 waves of the hard difficulty in 1 strong attack. That's a first for BBS, I gotta say. Next up though, we're taking Ichigo into Limit Breaker. In this case, just to save our time, but only showcasing the runs where Ichigo is being displayed here. And to help us out, we are using Kyogei, since Kyogei as a team player, we're using him in slot number 3. He does allow Ichigo to recover his strong attacks in between stages, so the next time Ichigo is available, all of his attacks are ready to go. And that's quite cool. It's a lot of fun too, trying out this team. We've already showcased on the channel. But you'll see here with this, Ichigo is basically one-shotting all the mobs. And the only time he's not one-shotting, similar to Yuha, is when you get to those poison enemies. The enemies with a lot of HP, which have been given more HP this time around, considering how OP Yuha and Ichigo actually are. The great thing about the poison enemies though is that they aren't really fast enemies, so even though you can't knock them back since you don't have Poise Break, you're still able to fully charge that SA3 and do a ridiculous amount of damage. Again, damage similar to a Soul Bomb. So while Ichigo might not have an extra Soul Bomb like Yuha does, his SA3 is basically considered a Soul Bomb, especially again when you inflict the status ailment, which against these big enemies, we were doing it more often than not. It was really cool to see us clear stages super fast and being able to easily let off that SA3 with no downside to it and get a ridiculous damage output, clearing our stages super fast. Overall, with this team, I was able to get around 35 stages cleared. Could get faster had Kyogei been 2-5 with his focus slot unlocked, but either way, Ichigo did not pull any punches. Thanks to Kyogei, we were able to spam our strong attacks and clear this quest ridiculously fast. But at the same time, I also wanted to try Ichigo out without Kyogei, without the guaranteed recharge in between stages. So this time we had to be a tad bit more strategical, a bit better with our position in terms of strong attacks. Having said that, I don't have the best gameplay, I will say, but either way, it didn't make that much of a difference, honestly. If you're not using Kyogei, you have to substitute with a better character. In this case, we chose to use a max transcended Yachiru Unohana, one of the other best characters in Brave Souls. And with Yachiru clearing her stages a tad bit faster when compared to Kyogei, it balances itself out, since now Ichigo isn't getting the guaranteed recharge in between stages. But even having said that, we were still able to get our strong attacks back when we needed them to. Maybe had to use an extra strong attack here and then, had to wait 2 or so seconds, but it wasn't that big of a deal, especially when you are going for recharge. And with that, even without Kyogei, we were still able to clear all the stages we normally would clear, and we were still able to get to stage 35. So I guess you can take this as Ichigo, solid performance around with or without Kyogei. But another great thing about Ichigo is that he doesn't really care about attribute advantage, he more so cares about killer. So in a future Limit Breaker quest, whenever there are Storyboat or Quincy enemies, as long as it gives a killer buff and a melee damage buff, well, Ichigo is good to use in that slot, and might even be better than most characters. So I would like to think in 2024 you're going to see me use Ichigo a lot of times in Limit Breaker, because given his kit, he's quite the versatile unit. I would like to think so. With that said, loadouts, that was the video for today, trying out the new true Shikai Ichigo at max transcendence. An obvious beast of a character, especially in the high attribute, which is already stacked to begin with. I've already stated multiple times that he's a completely different character when he has killer, and you can see that in guild quest and also Limit Breaker content. He is based around inflicting status ailments, and while he does have an increased chance to do so, it is, you know, first of its kind only to a certain affiliation when he does have Killer. Unfortunately for Epic Race and IT, even though he did perform pretty good in there, we definitely are going to try him out again when he does have Killer because it's going to be even more insane. I'm happy to have this character, happy to have him 5-5. He's been a ton of fun playing with him, especially with that SA3. It's a unique attack. He's the only character in the game to have it. Who knows when someone is next going to have that attack, but man, is a blast to play with, especially when you have him max transcended and it is capable of doing a ridiculous amount of damage as demonstrated in today's video. Let me know what you think about this character in the comments below. See you guys next time. Take care and peace.